So for now, I will going to discuss about the second type of tissue, which is connective tissue. It is incredibly diverse and contributes to energy storage, the protection of organs, and the body's structural integrity. Connective tissue is the most abundant and widely distributed of the primary tissues. There are major functions of connective tissue. This includes the first one, binding and supporting; the second one, protecting; the third one, insulating; the fourth one, storing reserve fuel; and lastly, transporting substances within the body. Connective tissue has also three main components. These are cells, fibers, and ground substance. Together, the ground substance and fibers make up the extracellular matrix. There are also three types of fibers that are found in connective tissue. The first one is collagen. Collagen fibers are fibrous proteins and are secreted into the extracellular space, and they provide high tensile strengths to the matrix. The second is elastic fiber. Elastic fibers are the long, thin fibers that form branching network in the extracellular matrix. They help the connective tissue to stretch and recoil. The third one, the reticular fibers. Reticular fibers are short, fine collagenous fibers that can branch extensively to form delicate network. So don't confuse, because connective tissues again is divided into four main categories. These are connective proper, the second, cartilage, the third, bone, and the last one is blood. For connective tissue proper, this has two subclasses. These are loose and dense. So for loose connective tissue, this is divided into two. These are areolar connective tissue and adipose tissue or body fat adipose tissue. Areolar connective tissue is tissues that are widely distributed and serve as a universal packing material between other tissues. The functions of areolar connective tissue include the support and binding of other tissues. It also helps in defending against infection. When a body region is inflamed, the areolar tissue in the area soaks up the excess fluid as a sponge, and the affected area swells and becomes puffy, and a condition called edema. For the second one, adipose tissue or body fat tissue. Yellow adipose tissue in paraffin section with lipids washed out. This is loose connective tissue composed of adipocytes. It is technically composed of roughly only 80% fat, and its main role is to store energy in the form of lipids, although it is also cushions and insulates the body. The two types of adipose tissue are white adipose tissue and brown adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is found in specific locations referred as adipose depots. For the reticular connective tissue, this tissue resembles areolar connective tissue, but only fibers in the matrix are reticular fibers, which form a delicate network. The reticular tissue is limited to certain sites in the body. such as internal frameworks that can support lymph nodes, spleen, and bone marrow. So the second one, subclasses of connective tissue proper, is dense connective tissue. Dense connective tissue is divided also into three. These are dense regular connective tissue, dense irregular connective tissue, and the third one, elastic connective tissue. For dense regular connective tissue, this consists of closely packed bundles of collagen fibers running in the same direction. These collagen fibers are slightly wavy and can stretch a little bit. With the tensile strength of collagen, this tissue forms tendons, aponeurosis, and ligaments. This tissue forms the fascia, which is a fibrous membrane that wraps around the muscles, blood vessels, and nerves. For the second one, dense irregular tissue. This has the same structural elements as dense regular tissue, but the bundles of collagen fibers are much thicker and arranged irregularly. This tissue is found in areas where tension is exerted from many different directions. It is a part of the skin dermis area in the joint capsules of the limbs. And for the third one, elastic connective tissue. The main fibers that form this tissue are elastic in nature. These fibers allow the tissues to recoil after stretching. This is especially seen in arterial blood vessels and walls of bronchial tubes. The second main category is cartilage. This is a flexible connective tissue found in many areas in the bodies of humans and other animals, including the joints between bones, the rib cage, the ear, the nose, the elbow, the knee, the ankle, the bronchial tubes, and the intervertebral disc. Cartilage is composed of specialized cells and chondroblasts, and unlike other connective tissues, cartilage does not contain blood vessels. Just remember that cartilage does not contain blood vessels. So cartilage is classified into three types. These are elastic cartilage, hyaline cartilage, and fibrocartilage, which differ in the relative amounts of these three main components. Cartilage is the type of connective tissue where many of us are familiar with this flexible tissue that make up our nose and ears. Cartilage is strong due to the collagen fibers within its matrix, and it is resilient due to gel matrix. Cartilage is also found in the body as a cushion within the skeletal system. So let's discuss the three types of cartilage. The first one is elastic cartilage. This is similar to hyaline cartilage but is more elastic in nature. Its function is to maintain the shape of the structure while allowing flexibility. It is found in the external ear known as an auricle and in the epiglottis. The second one, hyaline cartilage. This is the most abundant of all cartilage in the body. Its matrix appears transparent or glassy when viewed under a microscope. It also provides strong support while providing pads for shock absorption, and it is a major part of the embryonic skeleton. The costal cartilage of ribs and the cartilage of nose, trachea, and larynx. For the fibrocartilage, this is a blend of hyaline cartilage and dense regular connective tissue because it is compressible and resists tension well. Fibrocartilage is found where strong support and the ability to withstand heavy pressure are required. It is found in the intervertebral disc of the body vertebrae and knee meniscus. Bone tissue is also called the osseous tissue. The osseous tissue is relatively hard and lightweight in nature. It is mostly formed of calcium phosphate in the chemical arrangement termed calcium hydroxyapatite. So the third category of connective tissue is bones. So bones are the fourth example of connective tissue. And just always remember that bones are made up of different types of connective tissues, including bone tissue and marrow. Bone tissue is either spongy or compact depending on the organization of the cells and matrix. So the fourth category of connective tissue is we have blood. And this is the considered specialized form of connective tissue. Blood is bodily fluid in animals that delivers necessary substances, such as nutrients and oxygen, to the cells and transport metabolic waste products away from other some cells. And it is an atypical connective tissue since it does not bind, connect, or network with any body cells. It is made up of blood cells and is surrounded by a non-living fluid called plasma.